That's one of the beauties that this AI is doing for you, because we refer to this data as unstructured data. And there was a lot of work, time, and effort spent to putting unstructured data in a structured folder structure. Think of it as a spreadsheet. I have our conversation recorded, and now I want to organize it in a certain structure, and that's then in a spreadsheet. Removes the toil, does these tedious jobs for me, and is really good in following up with the structure and keeping it in a specific structure, up to the point where many AIs guarantee you they're following up with that type of structure. So coming back to the example of OCR, extracting information from invoices, from policies in a specific structure is as easy as it has ever been. And those are just some examples on what the AI is capable of doing. But mainly, though, the important part is now the computer can tap into that unstructured data, let it be images, videos, voice recordings, or just blocks of major text, without you having to sanitize it before. And so that taps directly into the data analyst roles that took weeks sometimes to prep the data. So another conventional machine learning model was able to actually do its magic with it. All of this happens now through the big unlock that we had with the recent large language model. So that's sometimes referred to also as a data lineage problem in a way. The idea behind that is that you are in control of who is allowed to see the data. In Europe, I think we're very ahead of that with regulations, GDPR and so forth. It's just like a regulation written down in text, how you should treat specific aspects of data. And large language models are great in understanding that text and also following the instructions that come from that text. By using that same technology, we're also able to honor these rules that are set into text. And we're doing this by having prompt engineering with instructions that allow you to, for instance, specific filter rules and apply guardrails around PII data and so forth, but also on a more level where the LLM doesn't even have access to it, making sure that in the first place, just the right AI and just the right LLM has access to it. And so we are aggregating essentially the accounts with all of the AI providers out there, making sure that we adhere to the training and data privacy policies. And then you can create and set up on our backend, essentially for your specific use case, which AI is allowed to use what data in what aspect. And that is the sort of data lineage that allows you to be in charge, also for compliance reasons, to make sure that a specific team just has access to these 5 files, and a specific AI, which you can treat as a digital coworker as well, or agent, just has access to these 5 files. And we enforced it for you under the hood. I would think it's the most obvious is research, where as a human, like going through a specific amount of data, it's just like the day just has 24/7. Your short-term memory just works in a specific way. Computers are great in parallelizing and going through a vast majority of data. And what that unlocks, particularly in biology, we're talking here in healthcare use cases, is like finding relations, correlations, or conditions that would have been otherwise not found because you didn't know where to look. And the technology that enables that under the hood is actually the same technology that these LLMs, that like a company like Google has used years before. This is embedding and vector search, semantic search, trying to find something, putting something into a representation of what it is, and then storing that and finding similar things that have that mathematical representation of it. And that's something that is very abstract for a human to do. You would think of it as sounds familiar. You read something, I read that before, but I do not remember really where that is. Now the AI knows where that is, and it does that on millions of files, thousands of files. So you really are able as an analyst to find that needle in the haystack to then draw the right conclusions. So that can help you with research, that can help you with writing new thesis, fact-checking things, and these kind of things.